Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my fully interactive live interviews with my expert guest speakers. This evening, I've got the pleasure of hosting Dougie Robertson from Buena Vista Entertainments Limited, a fantastic Edinburgh-based company who looks after entertainment for weddings and events in Edinburgh and throughout Scotland as well. There will be more about the travel that Dougie does later in the interview today, but we will do the official introductions in just a moment. One thing that I would want to say to yourselves who are, I can see, already joining us live, is there's going to be a lot of fun and entertainment related topics touched upon today in our interview. If you are planning your entertainment for your special day, Dougie will be the best person to speak to, and he is giving us his evening to chat all things wedding entertainment, music, games and everything else like that. We will catch up with him in just a few moments time as well. I have been told today in one of the comments to the post I've done earlier today that Dougie is an Edinburgh legend, so let's stick with that and let's introduce him as such for the interview today. Now, for those of you who are joining us live right now, please say hello, tell us your name, tell us where you're joining us from, and any questions you've got, pop them in the comment boxes below. If you're joining us live right now, give us even a live heart emoji in the comment boxes below. We would love to hear from you guys. And like I said, Dougie is giving us his evening. This is your one-off chance, one-off opportunity to speak with our expert guest speaker this evening and pick his brains. I mean, Dougie started Buena Vista Entertainment. He'll tell you more about it in just a moment's time in 1991, which is very exciting. So the man comes with a lot of experience and advice that he can share with you as well. Now, for those of you who are joining us on repeat, make sure you comment #repeat in the comment boxes below. That way we can make sure that we respond to any comments or questions after the interviews have finished, as the interviews will be available recorded after we finish as well. For those of you who are joining us in my private bridal group, there might be a little notification at the bottom or the top of your screen right now, depending on your device, which reads as follows on the screen. I'm going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at streamyard.com/Facebook. All you need to do is pop that little link there and it gives all the permission to StreamYard. If you don't know how to do it or prefer not to, which is absolutely fine, don't worry about it at all. Just make sure you pop your name before any comments or questions. That way Dougie and I can address you by name as we answer your questions as well. Now, I should have said this before, we are going live across 3 platforms today. We are live in my Facebook page, The Wedding Guru Oscar. We're also live in my bridal private group, Interactive Facebook Lives with The Wedding Guru Oscar, and also live on my YouTube channel, which is why we're using today the streaming software called StreamYard. And for that reason, if you're joining us in the group, you can give us permission to share your name up on the screen as well. Now, before I do the official introduction in just a moment, I want to let you know that there's a little freebie to take away at the end of our interview today. I've got a little free guide, 3 steps to how to save time and maximize your wedding budget. I will be sharing that right at the end of the interview, so you need to stay with us right to the end to take advantage of that today as well. Lovely. I'm just going to check with your comments. How many of us is here? Wonderful. We've got Janice Bruce joining us. Janice is a dance choreographer. We've done one of these interviews with Janice before. Good to see you, Janice. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got Emma and Roddy joining us from My Scotland Wedding, saying hello to myself and Dougie as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Good to have you guys, and we've got a few questions floating in already, but we'll cover them as we invite our expert guest speaker to come to the forefront in just a few moments' time. Now, for those of you who haven't joined us before, a little introduction of what's about to happen. So I'll go over the introduction in just a moment. We will then dive right into the official interview, and there will be an open Q&A at the end as well. So I call this Golden Nuggets. So if you've got any Golden Nugget questions or comments for our expert guest speaker today, you can leave them right to the end of the interview. That's the opportunity to ask those questions as well. But we highly encourage questions and answers throughout the interview today as well. The more questions we get from yourselves, the more informative and helpful we can make this interview today, and hopefully we can make things a little bit easier in your wedding planning journey. Now, Dougie has agreed to give his time for us this evening, so make the most of the opportunity and ask questions throughout as well. Now, for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Oscar and I'm the wedding guru Oscar. I started my independent professional wedding planning business back in 2019. Before that, however, I've been involved in the wedding industry since 2009. Initially looking after weddings on the day, running, delivering weddings, logistically planning things and operationally delivering weddings. From the moment of arrival all the way to the end of the night, that was my job, to make sure that things happen to plan. After that, I was very fortunate and honoured to look after 3 stunning Edinburgh city centre properties, looking after over 130 weddings at the time. And that's when I really got involved in the wedding planning, when I looked after couples from the moment of inquiry, all the consultations, menu tastings, final details, and on-the-day coordination was my job. Throughout my career, I was also very honoured and humbled for nominations from my wedding planning couples to receive 3 recognitions from the Scottish Vows Awards, 1 award from the Scottish Hotel Awards, and most recently the Wedding Emporium is giving me Outstanding Award in 2021 as well. Also, over the years, I've contributed to some of the biggest publications in the wedding world, such as Love My Dress, Smashing the Glass, and most recently engaged in publications with the Engaging Wedding magazine from Stark Agency, the newest addition to the wedding industry, Your Scottish Wedding, as well as other publications with Luxury Scottish Wedding and My Scotland Wedding as well. If you're looking for inspiration, highly encourage you guys to check them out later today or at some point in the future as well. Now, enough about me. We're not here to talk about Oscar. We're here to talk about our wonderful expert guest speaker, which gives me great pleasure to introduce the Edinburgh legend, Dougie Robertson from Buena Vista Entertainment. Good to see you, Dougie. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
A legend talking to a wedding guru. My word, they've got it tonight, haven't they?
Indeed, indeed. Thank you very much for joining us. You are absolutely fabulous. We've worked with each other back in when I worked at Apex Hotels, and since then as well on a couple of things. So this is very exciting to have you joining us this evening. Thank you for that. Now, before we get started, I've done a little introduction for you, but could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, please?
Sure, absolute pleasure. First of all, delighted to be here with you, and hello to everybody who's watching online today. My name is Dougie Robertson. I started in the world of entertainment back in 1989, where I was involved in a theatre company. And I was asked if I wanted to help out with the disco system they had. I said, yeah, I'll give that a go. And that was the start of the craft. And so disc jockeying is how I started in entertainment. A friend said, oh, look, there's this company that are offering money to work. Oh, I'll give that a go. So I got paid for doing something I loved. And then, well, within a year, I was working in a nightclub 5 days a week, a hotel nightclub actually in Edinburgh, where they had live entertainment. And that was fabulous because you got to see so many different professionals very early in my entertainment career, to see them. This is way before your time, Oscar, but there was this act called Skin and Bone, and they were a 60s kind of tribute, but they dressed up in it. And I thought, that's a great USP. So just a unique point that they had. So I thought, okay, well, what can I do? And I thought, right, well, you could see, and my background that there was this ridiculous time that I decided to try and dance like Mr. Michael Jackson, which that was me trying to do that, and it just kept on rolling from there. So that was in the nightclub, and then I would have plastic guitars. I would have just silliness. just silliness, which was fun.
Is that one of the photos we're talking about in the background
Yeah,
just now?
yes, it is. It is. Yeah, that was back in the nightclub. That was a shimmery background that they had there, Oscar, in the nightclub. Very, very interesting times. But it was great. Yeah, there we are. That's me with a saxophone. Everything was that I could change within 3 minutes, so it would relate to the song that I was playing on vinyl back in the days.
Wow.
We could do.
Fantastic, brilliant. And how did, so obviously I know a little bit from your introduction earlier, we were chatting about it as well, and you've sent me a couple of things as well. Was it 1991 that Buena Vista was formulated effectively?
Yeah, that's right. 91, because it got to the stage where I was then being asked, okay, can you go and do my party, my wedding? Do you know someone who could do this? And I had some friends who were in the business as well, and it was just a very easy start, Oscar, for me to say, "Oh, look, do you want to go and do this?" Oh, yeah, and they did. So that was great. And then it was bands who I was meeting, and people were saying, "Oh, maybe a Ceilidh band, or could we have a Ceilidh band and disco?" And I think we were one of the first companies in Scotland to do the Ceilidh band disc jockey mix, where the DJs were trained to Ceilidh dance call. Because there was a big time, you wanted the formality of a band, and the traditionalism of a band, but the flexibility of a DJ. And we were doing that, and it was great, really fun times. And people, of course, still have Ceilidh bands, and there's some brilliant Ceilidh bands out there, not working just now, but they'll be back, that's for sure, and they're champing at the bit to come back and entertain for you all.
100%. I just remember when we worked together at Apex Hotels, and one of my highlights was working obviously with Pete at the Haymarket property there. And yeah, it was the highlight because there wasn't anyone else out in the market who did DJing while doing Ceilidh calling for capos, so that was quite a big thing as well. But your team is quite big. I just actually had a quick peek on your website earlier before we started today. You've got quite a variety of things you can offer within Buena Vista portfolio, is that right?
Yes, it is. Thanks for checking the website. Yeah, we've got a team of disc jockeys. I mean, as I say, that was how the company started, and then it just grew. We had one of our toastmasters, who's now, I know Richard Gray, you've spoken to before, and Richard's worked with us, and he's an absolutely lovely chap. And we have another Richard, who actually just a couple of weeks ago was up at the Fairmont St Andrews, performing as a Toastmaster, and that's great because we're back. This is the exciting thing. So Toastmasters, magicians, we have caricaturists, silhouette artists. A lot of people will find their own bands. So we've kind of moved away from that, but our corporate clients do ask us for live acts, and that's where we would give it. But we don't put that up on the website really anymore, Oscar, just because people will be looking around a lot themselves, I feel, which is absolutely right.
True, 100%. Brilliant. I've seen anything pretty much from your kind of duos to trios and quartet and stuff like that as well. So effectively, kind of quite a range and spectrum of services you can provide weddings, literally from the moment of ceremony all the way to the end of the night entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on. You're absolutely correct. Our soloists, our duos, we've got string quartets, we've got a brilliant saxophone, acoustic guitar mix, which is just so lovely, just that little bit different for people who just love that sax sound. And we've had them playing for the wedding service, or later on during the wedding breakfast, sometimes even during the drinks reception when the bride and groom are off getting the photographs. Their guests have to be entertained somehow.
100%. I think this is going to, that's at least my opinion, I'm not sure how you feel about that, Dougie, but I feel that when things open up fully for, official entertainment and dancing again, I feel like there's going to be a massive focus on entertaining guests and creating those really memorable once-in-a-lifetime experiences, don't you think?
Absolutely. We've been speaking to the hotels who we are delighted to supply, and wedding couples as well, and they just want to have a party with their guests. Some, as you know, people have moved their wedding, postponed it. But then this year, there's been a lot more people having the ceremony, getting married, but saying, well, but we'll come back when we can to have the big party with all of their friends, because that, for some people, is the big part. Obviously, getting together as the happy couple is really, really important. But they want to celebrate with their friends. So.
100%. I think the big receptions are still coming, and I can see that. I mean, the weddings that are coming for end of the year and next year are going to be big again. So I think a lot of, like you said, a lot of couples have decided to progress with their ceremonies and stuff and have that memorable experience of the act of marriage and those closest to them there. But they are definitely, a lot of them are still holding off for the big receptions to party and celebrate the occasion. So that's brilliant. Lovely. Sure. We've got Moments by Alexandra saying, love Dougie and the team. So many amazing options for couples. Never a dull moment. Everything crossed for more singing, dancing soon. Indeed, we hope so too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you. Great, lovely. So there's a few questions I've got from our audience for you, Dougie. I'm just going to check back for them. Oh, we've got Kristen Lamb joining us from Unicorn Sweet Boxes. We had a wee interview just a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago maybe now. So if you guys are looking for a little bit of a favour thing, you can check out as well. But questions first. So question from audience. We're being asked, what's the most common request you receive from couples?
Now, I wonder what they're asking about that. Is that music-wise? Is that a style or format? Well,
let's cover it all.
We'll cover it all. I love it. Okay. Okay. So, most common we get asked for is our disc jockeys through the wedding through the wedding clients from hotels, because we do packages for them, and couples themselves then they're usually asking for musicians, so for the wedding service, and I think that's definitely being seen now, and that people are able to have that. It's been a little bit quieter recently that we've found, but the solo musicians, because you are going to have a solo musician playing at your wedding, that then is included in your numbers. Yeah. So they're looking for solos and duos, not so much so the trios or the quartets. And so that's how I'm seeing it just now.
Brilliant. And music-wise, any most common requests?
I think they look at the age of some of our disc jockeys that we've got working for us. I stopped back in 2006, so I hung up that DJing hat way back then. But they're looking for someone who can do a whole range. If you're wanting a nightclub DJ, we're not the guys for that. We have one of our chaps, Chris J, whose background is in nightclubs, and he does love the dance music, but he's changed his style to be all-encompassing. So if that's what they were looking for, then Chris J is a good chap for it. He's a great guy, really nice. He looks after one of our clients for Christmas time and has done for the last 4 years. But the rest of our chaps, they can read the dance floor. That's what people are looking for, is that it's not the personality DJs. And there's some brilliant personality DJs out there just now. One who you've interviewed in the past, and does a really good job. I think our clients are wanting a all-rounder who can also do ceilidh dance calling, because I think there's not every DJ would like to do that. I think it's fair to say.
Well, that's brilliant. Something it's many couples actually asking for that service as well, and having that ability to provide it is absolutely brilliant. Lovely, great. So there's more questions coming in, so I'm going to keep them hot there on the back burner and come back to them in just a moment. Now, ahead of the interview today, we've obviously talked a little bit and looked at a couple of questions. And the question I would like to ask you about now is, what aspects of your role do you love the most?
Okay, well, if it's okay, I'm going to split that into kind of two, Oscar, because I do feel I have two roles. One is a director of a company. So we'll do the Buena Vista bit first of all, not the crazy chap that you're seeing on screen just now. What I've loved is, over the 30 years, is the fact I've seen banqueting supervisors become general managers. And I think that's just so good that they've worked so hard, done all the hours and done the graft from working all the parties to now being general managers all around, you know, Scotland and England. And I do try and keep in contact with them through social media. And also, like, conference sales coordinators who've gone to being sales managers or even wedding gurus. I mean, that is what it's all about. But that's what I love. I've been able to see that, liaising with people, getting the brief from the bridal party or the venue to say, well, look, this is what they want, and then working out from the team that we have. Okay, I believe this would be the right person for you. Putting them in contact with each other, and then letting them get on with it. Make sure that they're happy, comfortable. That's from the act's point of view, and also from the bridal couple's point of view, that this is the right act for them.
Yeah. So
I love that, because then the thoughts that I've put into it has fully paid off. But as an entertainer, this is a people business. You know that, Oscar. I've got great relationships that I've had over the years. You know, lovely to see Kristen coming in there, and who's now got brand new logo. She's looking super with the unicorn sweet boxes. Are brilliant. But it has been a people business. My best friend I met in 1990 in an Edinburgh hotel, and he was a banqueting manager, and we just kept in touch. That means a lot to me. Yeah, it's so that, because it's about the connectivity, having fun. Whilst, you know, taking the job seriously, but having fun whilst you're there. The game show that I host, I just love it. Seeing people being ready to play it, and we just mix it around for what people are looking for. So, yeah, you know, having fun and not take myself too seriously. I think I love that. I love that.
You've got a little love heart from Kristen as well. Good to see you, Kristen. Thank you very much. Great. I need to check out that logo. You need to send that across. We'll do a bit of a sharing and promotion as well. Fantastic.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that kind of that's what, at least I find as well, the most kind of rewarding part of jobs we do is dealing with such fantastic. You deal with our corporate clients, obviously, as a director of the company, and a lot of the businesses that supply couples, but then as an entertainer, being there and seeing the smiles on the faces, are absolutely superb. So I can imagine that being absolutely brilliant. Lovely. I'm just checking for more questions for our audience. Okay, interesting one. I'm not sure exactly what it relates to, but it says, anything you believe we should steer clear of? I'm thinking maybe entertainment-wise.
Okay, doing something that you're being, okay, this is where I'm going to, the mothers of brides and grooms are going to not like this. Ignore what they want. It's your wedding.
Yeah.
All right? Steer clear of what other people think your wedding should be like.
Yeah.
It's your night. It's your day. It's the start of your life together. Do it the way that you want it to be. Obviously within your budget. Don't. But yeah, I have been to many a wedding fair, Oscar, as you fine well know, and it's when I see other parties trying to go, oh yeah, but I think you should have this. No, and I then just focus to the bride and groom and say, no, but what would you like? Or the brides and the grooms. It's the wedding couples. So that's my top tip.
And you know what? I second that. It's quite often I say to couples, you know, you want to remember your wedding day for the right reasons. You don't want to walk away from your day thinking, oh, we should have done this, we should have done that, and actually listen to somebody else for that advice. You've got to be a bit selfish. It's your wedding day. Of course, you are catering to big numbers, but it's such an important day that yeah, you want to have a good time and enjoy it from dot to dot effectively. So that's brilliant.
It's a
Great,
big, I mean,
thank you.
you're right. It's a big process right from the start, isn't it, Oscar? You know, from when you're meeting with people, when they've said, you know, we just got engaged, it must be a lovely journey for you because you're taking them all the way through. But right from the start, it's like, so what do you want?
Yeah. 100%. And you know what's interesting? Actually, speaking to couples quite often, you see them kind of sitting going, oh, and I'm like, what do you like? What do you not like? Let's start with that, and we'll figure it out. If you've not got a defined vision, they go, oh, okay. Didn't think it was so simple, but it's actually getting into the mind space of wedding planning. You start kind of going through the things, but yeah, you're right. It is about kind of figuring that out as well. Now we've got a question from Janice Bruce, our dance choreographer. She says, "Hi Dougie, do you ever get asked for dance groups? I'm seeing singing waiters on the go, but not dancers. Dancers can get everyone up and break the ice. Do you think this could be a thing?"
Okay, Janice, a very fine wedding dance choreographer, I'm thinking here. Okay, yes. I've definitely seen it in the past where wedding couples want to learn a dance. So I've seen that happen before, which is great. And then it kind of goes that little bit further to, well, the wedding party that they're wanting to get it. Can the dance, I'm just rereading it, make sure I'm answering her question correctly. Could dancers get everybody up and break the ice? Yeah, I don't see why they couldn't. It's not something that I've been asked to get a whole lot of dancers into doing it. But you've seen flash mobs working before, and what a buzz that creates. I think it's a fabulous idea. So yeah, you know, Janice is absolutely correct. The singing waiters is fabulous and fun. But oh yeah, get the dancers in, and woo, what a party that would be! Get the dance
That would be
started.
amazing, definitely.
Yeah.
I think getting people onto the dance floor is such a big thing, and you guys did that very well. We did this wedding with Pete. I'm just remembering this now. Janice has mentioned this. We did this wedding through Buena Vista with your guys, and the couple had dressed up Minnie and Mickey Mouse. They were massive into Disney, obviously, and they actually did the wedding dance choreographed alongside a Mickey and Minnie Mouse dancing beside them. So this was funny and it was brilliant, but it was so much on theme. You know, it's interesting, something totally different and memorable again.
Yeah. Well, and that is it. It's making it. I'm wondering whether Janice is now thinking, well, she might get some costume characters going together. Janice, I've toured up and down the country in costume characters, so for a supermarket chain. So yeah, I go for it. You know, it's quite warm in these costumes, but there we are. That could be something new. See what we've hit on here. Then the gurus talks. Hey.
Brilliant, fantastic. Thank you very much, Dougie. Now, the next question we had for yourselves was why is it that you love what you do? And obviously, you've been doing it for such a long time.
Okay, way back in the beginning, I was given a caricature, and it was teamwork sounds great, because it was DJs at the beginning we said, and it was all the guys and with a set of turntables, and that is what it's all about. It's all about teamwork for me. Whether that's the teamwork at the venue, so you've got the sales team who are, you know, out there promoting us. Well, that's great, but it's the events team who pull the wedding together on the night. We are always with the disco business. When back in the 90s, it used to be Jimmy's discos, call Jimmy on. We just never wanted that. We wanted to be seen as part of the team, so we didn't have advertising per se on the front, and so we wanted to say on behalf of whatever venue I've been, you know, thanks very much. It was never about really promoting ourselves. It was trying to be a cohesive group, and we've kept that going. I would say that ethos all the way through. So that is definitely it. I'm just saying. as myself, I just love being there. I've got a young family now, Oscar, and the flexibility of working in entertainment. Okay, yes, I've been away with doing the corporate eventing as commentator for charity and corporate events. Yeah, the weekends I am away quite a lot, but I'm able to take my children to school. I'm able to pick them up from school. I think that flexibility that I've been able to get from having done entertainment for 30 years.
Covering all those little marks and stuff. Yeah.
But I love a big thing. You saw that daft picture that we just had before of me kind of running in like that. That's with a whole team of event staff and volunteers. So that was in Ireland, the one that you just saw there, the Cosby Coast Challenge. And what we had was we were just waiting for the brilliant people who were raising money for Parkinson's UK, hence the blue, who had walked past the Giant's Causeway. They'd done 26 miles, and we were waiting for everyone to come in. And sometimes it gets a bit quiet, so I'm there teaching them dance routines as you do. So I was there with one of my sound engineers, and it's just that camaraderie, seeing people coming across the finishing line who have had a really, really tough time, didn't realize how hard it was going to be. You've been doing fundraising, the adulation that they've got on their faces getting across the finish line, the trepidation from the beginning when we're just setting them all up. It's fabulous. It really is.
And I think, don't you agree that quite often in the jobs that you do, especially entertainment, you feed off people's energy, and the minute there is that feedback, you immediately, it gets you going, doesn't it?
Oscar, you've got it. It really is. I just love it. I've been very fortunate. I do a job and then get asked back, and I get asked back again. Put the teeth in. It'll be fine when we do this live. It's just so nice that we're all on the same page. We're all pulling it. We've been working for maybe 24 hours on a job, but it's just to see it finish and see the delight on the clients' faces. And from having done weddings, I love that. The bride and groom or the brides and grooms, the wedding couples are putting so much faith in you to make the party happen, and just seeing it happen is like, oh yes, we've got it. So
brilliant.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
and that's why I still love it, I suppose. Oh, here he comes.
We've got a question from Martin. So he says, Dougie, are there any other options for fan entertainment that is not DJ or bands?
Okay. Well, during lockdown, we relaunched a game show that we used to do for corporate entertainment, which was originally called Steve Lindsay's Amalgamation, after the chap who used to host it. Well, I used to work with him in 2004. He sadly passed away. 2010, we brought it back again, and we started raising money for charity every time we did the show, and we raised over £8,000 for a charity called Radio Lollipop, who help children in hospital get better quicker here in Scotland. They're in 3 different hospitals. So during lockdown, we're thinking, right, okay, we have to do something for our own mental health. We need to get out there. So we relaunched the show as Seen on TV, because it was all about game shows that we've done that are seen on TV. And now, as everyone knows, you can't have dancing at a wedding. Mm-hmm. So I think this is an ideal time for the game show to be enjoyed, and we've had a lot of interest from it, and we've looked at everything, social distancing, everything to be COVID secure. We've changed it around. We know exactly how it can work safely. So that, I think, is for people who don't want to dance. You had them before, Oscar, with clients who will go, right, this is what I want, but this is what I don't want. as we touched on earlier, it's your wedding. Have it how you want to. If you don't like to dance, or you've maybe only got a small group of people, what can you have that's going to be a memorable experience? Yeah.
Unique.
So I remember, gosh, it must have been about 5 years ago, one of our wedding coordinators at a hotel in Edinburgh, she had 14 people, half of them coming from America, said, would you do the game show for our wedding? And, yeah, of course we would. So we had the girls against the boys. Obviously the bride won, obviously.
Brilliant. Do you know, it makes a difference because no matter the size, it's people still coming together and you want to give them those memories, something to talk about in 10, 20 years' time. You know, it's... and I think, you know, this is the kind of predicament a lot of couples have got now is like, okay, no dancing, what do we do? You can stay in your venue until 10 o'clock, but what do we do after your 3 courses finished? So I think this is a brilliant idea. And, you know, even beyond what's happening now, I think, you know, couples, as I said, are looking now more so looking into the future for these memorable entertainment opportunities. So that could be something, you know, you could be doing for drinks receptions or the comfort breaks or the changeovers and stuff like that before things kick off. So that could be quite interesting, definitely.
Well, we actually did it for a wedding before. A couple of years ago, I remember. It was great that there were. We're going to touch on this later on about involvement and. What they were brilliant. There's like, this is what we want. We're going to have children at the wedding. So, you know, the game show, can it have questions for kids? Of course it will be. It's going to be family friendly. Of course it will be. And well, it's going to be somebody's birthday. Can you do a round specifically about that? So we did. Unknown to, it was the groom's granny. And we got pictures of her throughout the years. And people had to guess where she was and when it was. So,
brilliant.
Memorable. Brilliant.
100%.
Absolutely fantastic.
She would have loved that, I can imagine, as well. Great. Well, we've got more questions for you, Dougie. Okay. I'm just going to bring the next one up. The question is, any suggestions for bride and father? I kind of merged them together, bride and father dance. It's such a big concept now as well, and I'm curious myself if you've got any suggestions.
I think that is for the bride and the father to decide. There will be a song that they will have remembered, whether they were in a car together, that they maybe sang. You know, that could be the song, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a really slow song. It's just, again, it's the bride, as we were looking at with the father. It's the bride's wedding. So she's got to think back, you know, when she was a teenager, when she was a child, what song really meant something? And if she's not too sure, then Dad, what do you think? What would you like to have? And I bet that father will have tears in his eyes. Yeah, to go, gosh, I'm getting a chance to put something into this wedding that's not just financial. So that's how I see it. That, you know, it's again, it's your wedding. Get something that's going to be that tearjerker for yourself for all the right reasons. Hopefully that's a good answer for you.
Brilliant, fantastic. We've got another question from Chris coming back to the game. So I'm bringing this up because we're still on the topic. Now, Chris is asking, hi Dougie, you say there's different rounds in the game show. What kind of things are these?
All right. Okay. So over the course of 90 minutes, we would do 2 45-minute sets in essence throughout if it's an evening reception time. We've got TV themes. So do you remember your favorite TV programs? Again, we would make it because we need to know who's going to be at this wedding. What age of people are going to be at this wedding? So it's going to be made specifically for them. So it could be TV themes from throughout the years. Everyone loves Countdown Conundrum. Words all mixed up, yeah? Or the word mixed up, got to guess what it is. We'll make it thematic as well. So we have a big screen with, and depending on the venue as well, that's going to be in, because some venues have got screens there, but if we can, and obviously just now with the regulations, we would be setting up in the morning, and so that it's all set to go. So screen with back projection, so that people can, so that I can be standing in front or to the side. We've got family fortunes, of course. Of course, you've got family fortunes. Yeah. We asked 100 people. Somebody said catchphrase. Everyone loves a bit of catchphrase. All themed from different shows. We've got Name That Tune. Everyone knows their music. We've when we're able to do it, we've got the generation game as well, which we've already changed, where we have an expert who comes in with pre-blown up balloons, and they've got to make balloon animals. I'm giving away our whole show here. So that's a bit of fun. And then I don't know if you can see it actually. Can you see something behind me here, Oscar?
I might make it a little bit bigger. Give me 1 second.
There we are. Well, I've just turned it up there. Now since we're here, then, Oscar, this is called Play Your Cards Right. Now, we give you your first card for free, and what you've got to work out now is whether the next card is going to be higher or lower than a 4. Now, you can decide, Oscar, what you think the next card is going to be, or maybe some of the people who are in with us live could
Guys,
help
if you want to see, I'm going to pop it up on the screen. Let's see audience participation.
What's the next
we'll
card
give everyone
going to be?
a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give everyone a little minute, and we'll come back to that one just so that we've got a question and answer there. Okay.
No problem.
Fantastic. Great. So the next question I had for you. Oh, this is a good one actually. How far have you travelled to an event?
Okay. Right. In the last year, I've traveled all over the world. So we did 3 murder mystery shows back to back, 3 days of it. And we went to United States, to Switzerland, to all of the UK, to Ireland. So that's the joy of the technology that we're using nowadays. So I've been around the world that way, but I've also been, I was privileged to be asked on 2 different occasions to Ceilidh dance call at weddings in America. So that was just so nice to be asked. It's a privilege. Me and the team and I, we would go anywhere. If you ask us, we're just, it's a privilege and a pleasure to be asked. I've been with the game show to Portugal as well, which was great. Crazy travel. Okay. I thought you'd like this. So I was talking about the Causeway Coast Challenge earlier on. So the team would flown over on the Friday. The event was on the Saturday, finished at 7:30. I then had to get to the airport to then get a flight back to Liverpool because there were no flights back to Scotland, to then get a driver to drive me up to Glasgow for the picture that you can see on there for Pedal for Scotland. So the start was at 6 o'clock in the morning the next day on the Sunday morning. So leaving Ireland, I think about 10 o'clock at night.
You're still looking very fresh in that photo.
Yeah. Oh, that's good makeup. I must be wearing it. I think that was about 8 o'clock in the morning. The Piper's brilliant, such a lovely guy. So 8,000 people we got across the starting line, and then I went. So that was in Glasgow Green, and then over to Edinburgh to bring them all over the line.
Wow.
Madness.
It's quite a story indeed. Wow, this is fantastic.
Thought you'd like that.
Coming to flying across to America for Ceilidh calling at weddings, that is an honour, but what a fantastic experience as well. And I'm sure guests there would have absolutely loved it. It's such a good fun doing Ceilidh's as well. So I can imagine on the American ground it would have been even more fun for them when half of them don't, probably majority of them wouldn't even know it.
Yeah. Well, obviously I had to bring my kilt across as well, because that was a pure expectation. But it was fabulous. And I think I did maybe, I was asked to do half an hour or so, but made it into an hour, and there was recorded music from some of the great Ceilidh bands that I've worked with over the years. It's brilliant. And the chat afterwards from everybody, obviously wanted to hear a little bit more about Scotland, and brilliant fun, absolutely great.
Brilliant. Right, we've got answers. Everyone is saying higher, and higher.
All right. Okay. So let's go to the next one then. Okay. Oh, you're right. There we go. Good answers. Okay. So Jack quite high, just above the 10. What's the next one going to be? What should
What's the
people
next
go
one,
with?
guys? What's the next one? Let's see.
Okay.
They were quite quick the last time, so I'm going to give them a minute
All right.
and see what happens there. Are we going higher, guys?
Never done this over an
lower?
interview before, but I love it. Okay.
Let's see. Let's give them a little minute. Come on, guys.
Okay, we'll do. Okay, and we're going with
we've
aces
got
high
lower.
on this. Lower? Okay, Janice, I think
Lower.
just going with probability.
See if there's any more.
I love how people are wanting to join in on this. Thanks very much, everyone.
Brilliant.
Not
This is
just
fantastic.
okay. Okay, I'll get that card
Let's
down.
give it a shot.
All right. Okay, Janice, are you going to win this? Are you going to win it? Yes. There we go. All right. Okay, so it's getting a bit more, more dangerous.
Martin said the same. Come on,
the
guys.
Same.
What's the next one?
Okay, so next one, fourth one. Come on, penultimate card. What's it going to be? Higher or lower? Higher or lower? What do you want to go with? What are you thinking?
Guys.
What are you thinking, Oscar?
Let's see.
They're obviously looking for the Brucey bonus for those who remember it.
Come on, Jonathan, Janice, Martin, Chris, you've been involved. Come on, let's get you guys.
Come on. This would be so. Oh, drum roll. Okay, well, I've got my drumsticks, so.
Okay, we've got 2 for higher again.
Okay, we're going for the higher. Let's just see if you're all right. Yes! Okay, one more to go. Okay, right. For the Brucey bonus.
Last one. Bonus. So Chris is saying higher. Let's see. Let's give Janice and Martin.
I thought they wanted me to say hiya. Okay, apologies, my mistake. Oh, sorry. There we go. Going into game show mode already.
Let's give them a minute, guys. What do we think?
Maybe they just don't think I'm actually dressed for the part. So, okay. Even got my shiny shoes on, especially for this one. Okay.
Right, we've got 2 for lower, 1 for higher, so we're going lower. I'm thinking majority.
Okay. All right. Okay. What would you have said? What would you have said, Oscar?
So that was 7 of hearts, wasn't it?
Yeah, the last one was 7 of hearts. Yeah.
Oh, right. I'm not going to go controversial. Let's go lower.
You're going lower.
Yeah.
And I thought you were the king at this game. I really thought you were. And I was going to be giving you a cuddly toy for that. Yeah, look what you could have won. But unfortunately, he's just going to have to stay here with us.
Brilliant. Fantastic. This was great. Thank you very much, Dougie. That was amazing. Now, we've got more questions. I'm just going to check back for what we've got there. We've talked about the bride and father. The question here... are pre-wedding guest requests recommended?
Okay. I would say yes. But the bridal party should check the list. Okay? So I think it was one of the interviews, I certainly heard you talking to someone about this, about, the wedding playlist. Yeah. What should you have? I think it's nice to ask, and there was definitely a good few years that was the thing to do, was with the invitation that you sent out to come back to us, let us know the music you want. But it's your wedding. I feel I'm a bit of a record repeat here. So you look through it and go, yeah, that's good. It's great for the DJ or the band to know that certain songs will be wanted. And I think that will help their performance to then slot it in at the right time to go, there we are. And even if it's named requests as well, that they know what it's for, if it's a celebration of somebody else's anniversary. But also to know what songs not to play.
Yeah, to avoid, definitely.
So yes, I think it's really great because your guests will appreciate being asked, and you could ask them, your top 3 favorite songs.
Yeah.
So you're not having to give them all, and then then you collate them, give it to your entertainment, and then they can put it in. I think if you want to look after your guests, that's a lovely thing to do, and they'll appreciate it.
Brilliant, fantastic, great. But definitely good advice about checking it before handing it over, for sure, because there could be some avoidable faux pas there as well. Now, we've talked about a lot about with various different elements to the wedding, but what, in your opinion, do you wish couples should consider more of in their weddings?
Okay. This is quite an easy one, but it's a bit of a politician one. It's like, when will all your guests be present? So I'm answering a question with a question. When are all your guests going to be present? Well, it's going to be the evening. I would say, and of course I would, because this has been the business I've been in, but don't scrimp on your entertainment and be realistic with your entertainment budget, I think. You know, that's a big one with a big one for me. Another thing would be, who is if we're looking at the evening reception, who's it for? Are you wanting it to be for all of your guests? Or are you wanting it just for the two of you? I remember we got this inquiry back when I was DJing. A couple who said, we want to be really prescriptive of the music request form. We don't want you to take any requests from any of the guests on the night. This is the music to play. And I suppose as the owner of the company, I thought, right, well, I'll do this one, because it was a tough ask. The bride and groom were absolutely delighted that they heard all their music all night long. Hardly anyone danced, because it was a really strange music request list. I hadn't heard of half of the songs they wanted. So you got to consider, what are you wanting it for?
What's important?
Yeah. Especially just now, guests have maybe not been seeing each other for a length of time, and we're also looking into 2022 here, that there will be people who haven't seen each other for a time. So again, evening reception, if you've got people who are coming specifically just for the evening reception, give them time to chat. You'll have seen this, Oscar, so many times that, you know, it's 7:30, people are coming in the door, and people are saying, all right, well, can you get things started now? Can you get it started? Well, you know, how many people arrive somewhere, take their jacket off, go and get a drink and go, right, well, I'm ready for 5 hours worth of dancing. Here we go. No, it's a social occasion. You know, to have time with your guests. That it goes so quickly. Yeah. You don't want to. You've seen it, and I'm sure all the weddings that you look after, Oscar, the wedding couples come up to you and say, I can't believe that it went so quickly. Yeah. So don't rush into, let's get a party started, unless the guests you've got, you know, are all very much into big dancing.
I think it's considering the group, I would agree, because I say this quite often to couple, and I'm glad that you've picked up on that. You know, who wants to go straight onto the dance floor after a 3-course meal? Give them half an hour, 45 minutes of a comfort break. Let them catch up. Let them catch a breath, fresh air. You know, do whatever they want to do. Toilet breaks and stuff like that. It takes time, and then when people have had that moment to catch a breather, you know, you can start entertainment. But yeah, again, another point that you've made about entertainment. It's one of the things that I say to couples. First thing is photographer, celebrant, and your evening entertainment. The three most important elements. I mean, everything is important in the wedding, but with the scope of work that everyone's got at the minute, entertainment is what everyone is looking forward to, and it's important. It's absolutely crucial.
It's the climax of the whole day.
Yeah.
Something can go wrong during the beginning of the day, but everyone will remember the end of your reception. So yeah, another thing to consider is your location, and I'm sure you get this all the time as well. The location, is it conducive to a party atmosphere? You know, there's some beautiful venues out there where you've got, the dancing is going to be there, and then outside there's the bar, and we've got some lovely comfy couches here as well, which you can just relax with. Well, that's not going to help get everybody into a party atmosphere, because then it's going to break it up. And another thing to consider, don't have too much of a buffet. You know, how much food can somebody eat? And the heavier the food that you have, well, we all know we get a wee bit tired. So it's like, think of pep up foods so that we're all ready to get going again. And it's not another meal. So those were little things that I thought about, which is
brilliant advice.
I was look at that. hopefully somebody likes that as an answer.
No, brilliant advice. I totally agree with that as well. We've got a few people saying a couple of things here. So Janice says she's got the same jacket as yours. Well done.
She must be a TV fan.
Yeah, I think Martin was disappointed he didn't win the game. So whack whack whoops. We've got Jim Henderson. Jim Henderson joining us today as well. Good to see you. And Don said, missed the cuddly toy prize. That's what happens when you're late to the party. Never too late to our party, Don. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And you always have got fantastic questions. So remember, we're moving on to the very final question before we're going to have an open Q&A. So this is your opportunity for those golden nuggets to now make their way into the comment boxes below. Fantastic. Great to see you, Don. Thank you for joining us. And you're absolutely right. Such a key element to have fun and memorable entertainment wedding as well. So the very final question from me to Dougie here is, what do you recommend for couples to do to make the most of their special day?
Okay, well, hopefully over the last 55 minutes or so, we've covered quite a bit of it. Speak to others, okay? Speak to them. You don't have to listen to them, but speak to them. Get their ideas. You've all been to weddings before. What did you like? What did you not like? That's what you want to be thinking about. Use somebody like Oscar. Oscar's experience is amazing. Okay.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. Listen, I'm very fortunate that having been in this business for so long, I'm able to work with people who I like and not work with people I don't like. And you've always been one of the good guys, Oscar, and the amount of effort that you always put in when I saw you at the Apex was stunning, and that's why you won all the awards that you certainly deserved. So wedding coordinator, definitely recommend that. If you can as well, if you can, get an MC. Get an MC in, somebody from outside who can just look after everything for you. You know, you're going to spend so much time having all the ideas, researching who you want to have, what you want to do, where you want to be, and have that person who is a professional, is not having to be from a hotel who's got another job to do because somebody's faucet has fallen off the wall or a TV remote control's gone missing and they need the duty manager. No, you get someone who is for you for the whole day, who makes sure that your glass is never empty. Okay, now I can see a few happy smiles from that one. I think that's really important. We talked about the music request form. Use that. I really think you should. Check your suppliers the week before. Okay, so everybody that is involved, make sure they're on the same page as you, because you may have ideas that if you haven't used somebody like Oscar to pull things together for you, it's all up with you. But do your suppliers know that they want to know what you want to make sure that they haven't missed anything? I would suggest, because from an entertainer's point of view, your evening reception during the day, whatever you're going to use your entertainment for, is the last advert that they've had. So that's it. And then on the day, hand it over and relax and enjoy it. You've spent a lot of time, effort, money. It's time for you to really enjoy all the hard work and you've put into it. So
100%. I agree with all your pointers as well, and yeah, thank you very much, because this is great what you're saying to our couples is obviously consider things all the way through and make sure that you've got everything covered, and then effectively unwind, relax, and have a good time. Absolutely. I stand by it as well. Wonderful. Right, we've got questions rolling in now, so let's have a wee look at what's happening in our questions and answers. As you can guys see on the screen just now, that's the backdrop to as seen on TV game show, which Dougie has introduced to us already today. So, question-wise, what do we have here? Interesting question. What's your favourite song?
Okay. Favorite song, Happy. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite wedding song. Well, my wife would agree that it was our first dance. So there we go. And if you want to know what that is, then you can email me and I'll tell you. But I'm not telling everybody online. Okay. So there we go.
Such a crowd pleaser, eh? Brilliant. Do you do more than, so somebody's asking, I think we've covered this, but for those of you who haven't joined us earlier, do you do more than receptions, for example, if I wanted music during my ceremony?
Absolutely. Now, if you were wanting background music, as in recorded music, yes, we can do that, and of course, that's being more prevalent as well just now. But yes, absolutely, soloists, duos, string quartets, trios, the jazz trios. Yes, absolutely. Get in touch.
Brilliant. And there's another question that I'm going to ask because again, some of people have left, some people have joined us.
Sure.
Do you have suggestions for evening entertainment and there can no dancing restrictions? I think the game show we've got up on the screen is probably the prime example, but you can tell our audience a little bit more in just a snapshot.
Okay. Fun, family friendly. As you can see, I'm quite a quiet, reserved guy. So yeah. We'll have fun with you. We use these wonderful things, wireless buzzers on tables, so that you don't need to worry about shouting. Of course, you can't do that, so it's keeping the volumes round. We have speakers all around the room that you'll be having your evening reception in. It's fun. It's safe. We've worked it out. There's paper-based activities. There's buzzer rounds. There's something for everybody. As seen on TV.
Fantastic. Love that. If you guys want to check that out or chat to Dougie, I will be presenting the contact details in just a few moments' time. So far, we're getting great advice and we're getting great ideas and great tips. And there's a question from Mark. Oh. Is it a question? Was at a wedding a few years ago in the PA during the speeches.
Yeah. Okay.
So it didn't work. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a very, very valid point, Martin, that you've brought up there. Go into the venue, check the system that they're going to be giving to you. A lot of the bigger hotels will hire it in, and there's some great PA systems, but make sure, especially you've got people who aren't used to public speaking, and nowadays, just now, everything has to be using microphones, so that people aren't shouting. Absolutely, thank you. Yes, make sure that that the venue is going to supply that, and it's a handheld radio microphone that you can see there. That of course they're going to wipe down. That's where your toastmaster, your MC, your wedding coordinator will make sure that it's safe as it goes from one person to the other. But yeah, I can understand Martin's point there.
Definitely.
Yeah. Check and check again. Yeah.
I think there's quite often assumptions I've seen at weddings as well where, you ask the question of what's happening for the ceremony music or what's happening for the drinks reception. Oh, we'll do a playlist or something like that, or we'll speak to somebody to organise it. Is there a PA system in the venue? Number one. Yeah. And then if there is it compatible with your with the system there and the device that you're using? So definitely a very, very valid point. PA system is such a big element of weddings, especially now. So great. Thank you very much, Martin, for the question. Thank you, Dougie, as well. Now, we're going to start wrapping things up in just a moment. I promised a little freebie for you guys. So delivering on my promises. Now, up on the screen you can see a little link to my free guide which talks about how to save time and maximise your wedding budget. It's a guide that I've put together around Christmas time when you were busy getting engaged. And it talks about 3 steps you can use either at the start of the wedding planning or throughout it, as well as, I suppose, easy steps you can use from day one in your wedding planning as well. If you'd like to check out today, follow the little link up on the screen, which is bit.ly/save -time and -money -Oscar. All you need to do is pop your email address there, and you can always come back to check out the link as well, and it's free of charge for you to take as well. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about how we could work together, I can be involved in your wedding planning as much or as little as required. I specialise in one-off consultations for DIY weddings or couples in the final stages of their wedding. One of my couples called it a sanity check consultation, and they absolutely loved it. If that's something that you'd want to check out, you can book my 15-minute free consultation today. But I can also be available on the day for particularly dry hire venues or venues without wedding coordinators, and I can also take care of it all for you, or part of the wedding planning with my part and full wedding planning as well. Lovely. So all is left for me to say before we say goodbyes to our fantastic expert guest speaker today is that we've got another interview lined up for you guys. We will be speaking to Michelle Gillen Films next Thursday, the 27th of May at 6 p.m. Michelle was actually one of my former brides, and she was my royal wedding. She was in the same date as William and Kate's wedding, so we've got this ongoing joke between the two of us, and then she's gone on to do videography for couples, so I'm very much looking forward to catching up with Michelle and talking all things wedding videography. Our first videographer on the panel, so I'm very much looking forward for you guys to meet her. So pop that into diaries. Thursday 27th of May, 6 p.m. we will be joining Michelle for an interview. Lovely. So all is left for me to do is share with you guys contact details for Dougie and the team at Buena Vista Entertainments. We've got their website address on the screen just now, mobile number, email address, and Facebook handle as well. Now, before we finish up for today, Dougie, you've given us so much advice already, but I wonder if there's the final thing, anything that you would like to say to our couples, wedding planning or just otherwise just now.
Okay, it's your wedding. Do it the way that you want it to be. Think about who's going to be coming, and on the day, relax, enjoy it, because it's going to go like this, and you just want to enjoy it. Yeah.
Just have a good time. Fantastic. Yeah. Brilliant. Lovely. Thank you very much, Dougie, for joining us for this interview. This was absolutely fantastic. Great to have you and sharing all the advice and experience. Massive thanks to all of you who have joined us live today, asked the questions, got involved, played the game with us as well. And yes, we've got Teddy there as well. Thank you to Teddy. And yeah, all is left for me to say, guys, thank you very much again. Have a lovely Thursday. I will see you with Michelle at 6 p.m. next Thursday. And everyone, take care of yourselves and have a great Thursday. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.